Welcome everybody, and thank you everyone for attending today our webinar on the top 5 things you need to know about why you move to Business Central SaaS. So just before we start the webinar, just a few housekeeping rules. All attendees will be on mute and will remain for the whole webinar. Please use the question box to ask any questions related to the topic, and also questions will be answered after the demo. If we run out of time, or if your question requires a longer answer, then the question will be answered offline directly. Please do use the chat box for questions related to the webinar, such as if you can't hear the audio or if the presenter is going too fast. But please note that the link to view the webinar recording will be sent to all attendees after the demo. This is our monthly webinar on key areas of Business Central SaaS. You can sign up for as many as you like on our website. I'll show you a list of upcoming webinars at the end of this session. We also send out regular emails to register for the next one. My name is Tiziana, also known as Beats, and I will be facilitating the demo today. I'm an account manager here at T-Vision, and I've worked here for 2.5 years, and my background is 18 years in sales, marketing, and partner management. Ian will be doing the demo today, and he is a support consultant at T-Vision. He's been working at T-Vision for 4 years and has been using now Business Central since 2000. Today, we'll be showing you highlights of why you should consider moving to Business Central SaaS. For many, the future world of SaaS raises questions that could have a big impact on the way business is done. Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central SaaS is essentially the latest version of NAV and a true software as a service offering. Business Central SaaS is hosted in the Microsoft Cloud, ensuring consistent updates and new features without the hassle of having to complete a full upgrade. It is still an all-in-one business management solution that is easy to use and adapt. As you would expect from any Microsoft product, it has strong integration with the rest of the Microsoft 365 stack. So we can't show you every feature, but we'll show you those we believe are the most useful and applicable to the majority of companies. So these are the top 5 things you should consider moving to Business Central SaaS that we're going to discuss and show you today. Office 365 integration. The integration with Office 365 is a real game changer. It provides so many time-saving benefits when using Business Central. With this integration, you can optimize operations, empower employees with better productivity and insight, and engage your customers faster and more accurately. You will find a familiar look and feel across the entire Microsoft platform. Editing in Excel. So users will be able to use the Edit in the Excel function across the system. Edit in Excel allows users to copy and paste data into columns and fields to then import them back into Business Central SaaS, rather than manually entering data. Outlook integration and insights. Outlook will recognize email addresses which are registered in Business Central SaaS. This means that Outlook will understand the company the contact is from, and you will be able to view insights of that company all within Outlook. Also, your users can process orders of clients and suppliers directly in Outlook without having to open Business Central SaaS. With Outlook integration, we can actually create a sales order, a sales quote, a purchase order, and much more. The great thing is that it looks like we are just running an application of Business Central. Business Insights. Business Central SaaS provides users with predictive insights, robust reports, and dashboards. Machine learning and artificial intelligence are changing how businesses use and react to data and information. In Business Central SaaS, the Insights page shows 4 key points of interest for most businesses: cash availability, sales profitability, net income, and inventory value. Situated next to the KPI chart, these insights will show potential areas of focus, for example, overdue payments. Lastly, Power, Platform, and App Stores. The Power Platform is a suite of apps which integrate with Business Central SaaS to provide outside information or information process flow. One of the main Power Apps used with Business Central SaaS is Power BI. Power BI retrieves Business Central data, allowing you to build dashboards and reports. You can also embed these into Business Central SaaS dashboards. Power BI enables you to drill down into the data and customize the visualization, and even merge data from different companies. Other apps within the Power Suite include Power Apps to create applications on phones, to put basic data into Business Central SaaS, and Power Automate, which manages data flow between Dynamics 365 solutions. Okay, so before the demo, we'd like to do a quick poll to get an idea of how many of you are considering moving to Business Central SaaS. So I'm just going to launch the poll. Okay, so if you wouldn't mind submitting your answers, that would be great. So A, we want to move to Business Central SaaS. B, something we're thinking about, but we haven't made a decision yet. C, I don't understand what Business Central SaaS is. Or D, I don't see a reason to move. Just give you a few more seconds. Okay, so interesting. It looks like the majority have answered A and B. Okay, so hopefully we'll be able to, the demo will be able to take you to the next level. Now I'm going to hand you over to Ian.
Thank you, Dietz. Okay, guys, so today for the demo, we have looked at some of these features in previous webinars, but I've glossed over them a little bit and just said that they do exist. So today I've chosen a couple of them and I will give just a tiny bit more detail. So the first thing that Dietz mentioned was the integration with Office 365 in general. So here you can see I'm logged in to the latest version of Business Central. And I've got my button up here. I am within the Microsoft Office suite. I can get access to my Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Project, whatever apps I have in Office 365, I can access them from here. Now, there's also Power Automate down here, which Dietz has been mentioning. So pretty much anything, you can get to it. It's all within the one site. And you can jump from one to the other very easily. Dietz was mentioning the Edit in Excel button. Now, we have spoken about that before, but let's give a demonstration of it in use. So I'm going to go to a general journal. And we'll just choose the first one that comes up. Okay, so I've got a general journal here. This is a payroll journal. It might be a recurring journal, and this is how much we're paying everybody every month. Maybe it doesn't change very often. I might have hundreds of names instead of just 4. But perhaps I need to change some of these amounts for whatever reason. Now, I can still edit things here in Business Central as I would do normally. And for this small journal, perhaps I would, but let's just pretend it's a really big journal. I do have the option to open this in Excel, which will give me a copy in Excel just for reporting purposes. But I also get the option to edit in Excel. I'm going to take that option. So the system creates for me an Excel workbook. I'm going to open that workbook. And now my Excel is going to open. So I didn't have to go and click Start, Open Excel. I haven't copied to paste anything. I'm just doing this from within the application. And hopefully it's going to open pretty quickly. It is taking its time because this is a live demo. Right, so immediately on the screen, I have all the columns that are available in my journal, and we've got this little box that's opening up on the right-hand side. And this is where Excel is now talking to Business Central, and it is bringing back all the information from that journal. Now, I can type numbers in here when I get to the correct column. But let's say this month, the first guy is not getting £1,000. He's only going to get £999. So I'm typing this in. I could just as easily be copying and pasting from another worksheet. I could be putting in a formula, whatever it might be. So I've changed him, and pretending we've got hundreds, I've changed them in bulk. And when I'm finished, I simply say publish. I click publish, it tells me it's writing, and it was successful. I can now close this Excel. I don't have to save it. I can discard everything. And here we can still see the 1,500. I'm going to press my F5 key to refresh the screen, and the number has changed to 999. So what was in my spreadsheet, I clicked publish, it has come through into Business Central. That is how powerful and tight that integration is. You simply say, edit in Excel, change what you need. You can add rows, you can delete rows, you can do bulk updates of customers or vendors. It's not just restricted to journals. You publish, it sends the information back. It's a lot easier, and it really makes bulk updates of data nice and simple. So that's the first really interesting integration with Office. But there's also that Outlook integration. So I have my Outlook open here. Now there are three different types of Outlook integration within Business Central. The first one you're familiar with. You open a posted document, a customer statement or invoice, whatever it might be, and you get a button on the ribbon that says send as email. And that's the first level. It just prepares a PDF, attaches it to your email, and you can send that off to your customer or your vendor. The second level is what I have installed here. And what I have here is Outlook and Business Central talking to each other. And when somebody who is in Business Central sends me an email, Adele is one of my contacts in Business Central, Outlook picks that up, realizes which company she works for, and if she references a particular posted document for that company, it even picks that up and says, here's a link to go and have a look at the document that she's talking about. So Adele is talking about this sales invoice. I can click on that sales invoice, and it brings up a very brief overview of actually what is on that sales invoice. I can scroll down, I can have a look at the totals, what was ordered, etc. It's not a perfect view. If I want a better view, I can open this in another window and I get a much more fuller view of the document, but it gives me an overview of the document that she is talking about. It also, because Adele is one of my contacts in Business Central, it gives me a link to Business Central from within Outlook, and we can say, go and fetch some insights. Now, I know that Adele works for a company called Datum Corporation. So what Outlook is doing now, it's questioning Business Central. It's pulled back, Adele works for a Datum Corporation. This is information about how much money they owe us. These are some ongoing documents, some posted documents that we have with a Datum Corporation. And here's some statistics on total sales, payments, when the last payment was made, etc. And this is all fully interactive, as you would expect from your home screen in Nav or in Business Central. If you click on one of these numbers, ongoing sales orders, if I click on that, it brings up, these are the 3 sales documents that it's talking about. I can click on one of them. It takes me through and it will actually show me, this is the contents of this sales order. This is what they're trying to buy, 12 Atlanta chairs. So it gives me this rich history about Adele. So I can come and have a look at this, familiarize myself with the document she's talking about, with their account. Perhaps one of these sales credit memos is the credit for this invoice that she's asking about. And from here, I can even post one of these documents if I want to. What it also gives me is the ability to create new documents from here. So perhaps I deal with Adele's issue and I phone her up to tell her, yep, I've sorted that out, Adele. And she mentions that she's interested in buying some visitors' chairs for her surgery. From here, I can create a new sales quote. I'm still within Outlook, but I can create a sales quote here. It's going back to Business Central. It's pulling up everything it can about the Datum Corporation to fill in the header of the quotation. And I can put in some notes and what is it that Adele would like a quote for? It's for an item. Which item number is it that she's interested in? She's interested in a guest chair. How many is she interested in? And while I'm speaking to her, she tells me it's 12. And I can scroll across and see exactly how much. £1,501.20, Adele. I can come back, I can change the price, give her a special price, and we'll update the line value here. When she's happy, from here, I can email this to her. I can turn this into a sales order. I can interact with my flows, which we'll come to later. But I'll probably just want to send it to her for her to get approval on her side, and then come back and send it through to Business Central. And if we go back to Business Central, if I went and I looked at a Datum Corporation, I would probably find that there's an ongoing sales quote now for those 12 office chairs. Yep, there's 2 ongoing sales quotes. I did one this morning to test that this would work, and the one that we've just done now. Now I'm in Business Central, I'm seeing the exact same document that I was creating in Outlook. The 2 of them are synced so tightly, I can work in one, it reflects in the other instantly. So that's the integration with the standard Office features. What Dietz also mentioned was the whole artificial intelligence and the insights and the dashboarding capabilities. So on my home screen, it tries to give me information that's relevant to me. I get all my buttons that tell me what do I need to be looking at and doing things about. It's also trying to give me some information up here. Now this is just a demo company, very few transactions. So I'm going to flick over to a different company where I do have a lot more transactions. So as you can see, this is just for a demo and development purposes company. But up here, Business Central Cortana Intelligence is trying to tell me these are interesting things that it's finding for the latest period. My best selling item, my best customer, my largest invoice, and how many deals I've closed this period compared to the previous period. And all of these are interactive. So, you know, largest posted sales invoice was this. If I click on it, it takes me through and shows me these are all the sales invoices it took into account. There's the biggest one in the bunch. And it's trying to give me insights that it thinks are useful for me. What it's also doing down here, it's telling me about my sales and overdue documents in sales and purchaser side that perhaps I need to take some action on. And it's also looking at invoices on the system, customers' payment practices, and it's trying to predict if anything is going to become overdue. If there is something, it will show me which invoice it thinks might be overdue, and it gives me the opportunity to contact that customer and just remind them that I exist before they do their payment run at the end of the month. Make sure that everything's all right and, you know, don't need any credits or anything like that, just to try and smooth things to speed up and improve my cash flow. Another thing that Dietz mentioned was the whole thing with the Power Platform. So With Office, we're all very familiar with Outlook and Excel, Word, PowerPoint, etc. But there are other features in the Office 365 stack. If I just go and have a look here, and we look at all the apps, we can see there's dozens of them. OneDrive is something that you might be using. You've got a planner, you've got Forms, Power BI, Power Automate, Power Apps, Microsoft Project, SharePoint, Stream, videos, etc. They're all here, and you probably have a license to be using, if not all of them, some of them. And you can access them all from within Business Central. So an interesting one is this Power Automate. Power Automate it's a relatively new tool that Microsoft have launched maybe 2 years ago. And it's a tool for getting information from one system to another system. So from Excel into Outlook, from Outlook into Teams, from Business Central into Outlook. And it will even do strange things like Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. It can also send information from them. Now, I can click on here and I can go and look at my Power Automate flows. But just to show you how truly tight that integration is, in Business Central, sorry, I need to bring back up that other demo company. So within Business Central, I can go and search for my Power flows. And these are my Power Automate flows. And it's picked up mine, all of them that I have. So this one, get a weather report. This has nothing to do with Business Central. Every day, this Power Flow goes off, gets a weather forecast from Microsoft Bing, and emails it to me. I have one here that reads my calendar and tells me what meetings I have scheduled for next week. It has nothing to do with Office, but I can, nothing to do with Business Central, sorry, but I can see it here from within Business Central. There's one up here that is to do with Business Central. If I create a new item and I click send for approval, it will create emails, send them out to people, and give them a button on the email to say approve or reject, and come back and either approve or reject that item in Business Central. So you can set up these kinds of things. You can manage them from this screen. You can change them, you can tweak them, and you can share them with your friends and colleagues so that they can use them as well. So the integration is not just with Excel and Outlook. It is with the entire Office 365 suite. And the last thing that I just want to mention briefly is extensions, which is the whole marketplace. So it's the idea of having apps that reside within Business Central. So on this system, all we have is the base application and quite a few that are supplied by Microsoft. There's nothing really fancy that's been added on here. But if I wanted to, I can go to the marketplace. And if I wanted to start accepting PayPal payments, for instance, you know, I might have quite a few customers who said, oh, I want to pay using PayPal. I can search up here and see, oh, and the last time I tried, so just using Pay, there is a World Pay payments standard. Mobile pay, pay on sales orders from CapVision. So these are some apps that have been written by third-party companies, which, if you choose to install them, will embed themselves within your Business Central. Some of these are free, typically the ones written by Microsoft. Some of them you have to pay for, either a monthly subscription or a one-off fee to install them. And all of these, Microsoft guarantee that they continue working with Business Central. They're not going to break anything. The only thing we suggest is if you have a look around the marketplace and you see something that might be of use to you, just have a word with your consultant, check with them that there isn't some free option that does that for you, or perhaps we could offer you something that is totally bespoke to you instead of something that's a 90% fit. But these are here and they're available for you. That's pretty much everything I wanted to show you. Deets, did any questions come in?
Okay, so yeah, we did get one. Is there a desktop client or does everything need to be done in a browser?
Okay, so basically, once you're on Business Central SaaS, you're pretty much working in a browser. So, you know, this is in a web browser. There is a desktop client, which I was just showing you. I've closed it, unfortunately, but it looks identical to the web browser. It is a secure site. So, you know, it's not open to hackers snooping to what's being sent and received. It's got full Microsoft security behind it, but it is a web browser.
Brilliant, thanks, Ian. So if anybody else has any questions from the demo, if you would like just to submit them now using the question box, we'll just give you a couple of seconds to do that. Do you have another one? Can I transfer over my historic data from now?
Yeah. So if you are a current NAV client and you're thinking about going to Business Central, yes, you can take your historic data across. Certainly you can. We do recommend, you know, if you're making this change, it's a good opportunity to have a clear out. And perhaps you want to think about just taking the opening balances across and getting rid of some of that old information that's not really relevant anymore. But if you want to take historical data, you certainly can. We understand your NAV database, we understand the Business Central database, and we have the tools. We have that integration with Excel for bringing information across. We still have the Rapid Start tool, which you might have used in the past. That is still available for bringing information across. So certainly you can bring it over if you really want to. Okay, I'm pretty much finished there, so yeah. I will hand back to Deets.
Thank you. We do have a few more questions, but we will answer those for you offline. So thank you, Ian. Okay, so we would like to leave you with the key takeaways, which we hope will assist you. So Office 365 integration. Office 365 is required for many reasons, but importantly is the Microsoft Outlook and Excel integration. For example, your users can process orders with clients and suppliers directly in Microsoft Outlook without having to open Business Central SaaS. And your finance team can edit or journal directly in Excel. But what is your company's policy regarding on-premise servers versus cloud-based solutions? Now might be the only solution left on the servers, and if that is the case, then moving to Business Central SaaS will fall in line well with your company's IT policy. Many companies have moved their server-based applications to SaaS, which means they have a lower cost of ownership, reducing the IT maintenance and regular updates. Think about whether or not you would truly need to move historical data into Business Central SaaS. A move to Business Central SaaS is classed as a re-implementation, therefore that the best practice is to start with opening balances. Historical data can be transferred to a separate database, such as a SQL database on Azure. You can use JET or Power BI to access both a historical database and Business Central SaaS to do tasks like year-on-year comparisons. How much storage do you get on Microsoft Azure server? Currently, the limit for the size of each environment's data in Business Central is set to 80 GB. Typically, in our experience, this is sufficient. If a tenant does exceed this limit, Microsoft would contact us to support you to reduce the size of the data. Lastly, data security. Microsoft have robust disaster recovery practices, including full backups weekly, differential backups hourly, and transaction log backups every 5 minutes. Also, automatic backups are retained for 14 days. So, of course, if you would like to have more a detailed discussion about why you should move to Business Central SaaS, then please feel free to contact us. We do hope you found this webinar interesting and informative. We shall be sending out emails soon to register for the next one, and we shall also put a reminder about the webinars in our newsletter as well. So thank you for attending the webinar. Once I close the session, a survey will appear. It would be great if you could respond with some feedback. If you do have any further questions, please feel free to email them to me at marketing@tvisiontech.co.uk. Thank you very much.